Hello everyone, this is Vishwas and welcome to our YouTube channel Frontend Devs. In today's video, we will discuss one of the most important JavaScript array methods and that is filter. Filter method is one of the most powerful way to extract the data from an array. By the implementation, this filter method creates the new array which contain the element that satisfy the condition provided in the callback function. Meaning this filter function work on the existing array. It will iterate over each array element and then it will apply callback function on that every element. The callback function has some condition and if the element satisfy that condition, the callback function will return true. And then that element will be added into the filtered array list. If you talk about syntax, the filter method work on the existing array. It will take callback function as a parameter and this callback function will take three different values. The first one is the element when we iterate over the array. Then we have the current index and third thing we have actual array. Then it will take second parameter as well. It is optional and it is used to bind the custom this. And then this filter function will return us the new array, that is filtered array. Just to understand, let me go with very simple example. I will go with few numbers here. That will be the array and I will go with 5 elements here. And then we will use filter function on this number to filter the array based on even or odd. Let me go with one const. It could be even and which will store data written by our filter function. We will use this filter function on existing array and then we will use callback function here. I can pass element, then I can also pass current index and I will pass the current array. But in this case or in most of the case, we only required element here. And then we have the condition here. So I will do element mod 2 equal to 0. That means if the number is even, return true. If the number is odd, return false. And then I will just do the console.log of my even number here. Let's save the changes. And if I go to the browser, we will see we are getting the filtered number with even values. Similarly, like if you want to odd element, I can use odd here. And instead of 0, I will use 1 here. And if I print that odd number, we will see odd numbers are printed here. And this is how filter is working. We can pass the callback function directly here, or we can create separate function and just use it in the filtered method. And one more important thing, this output array only contain the element for which this callback function will return true. Hope you are clear with initial details. After that, interviewer can ask follow-up question, right? Why we need filter or why do we need filter method? And things are simple. If you want to extract certain values based on condition or some logic, then we can use the filter method. Also, when we go with the filter method, it will provide us the clean, readable, and expressive code. And we don't need to use the manual conditions like using the manual for loop or for each loop, then adding the condition check or adding the values or the filtered values into new array. All those things are handled by the filter function internally. After that, we can have follow-up question from the interviewer is about provide some real world example of filter method. And there could be n number of examples, but we can go with few here. Like if you want to getting the list of active users, we can use the filter function. Then if you want to go the product with some specific pricing or the pricing range, then we can use the filter method, and we can use it to extract the odd or even number from an array. The example that we just seen here. Now we will understand these two examples with the help of implementation. First, I will get list of few active users here. Currently, I'm going with the 3 users, and we have 2 active users here. And then we will use the filter function on it. Let me go with active users as a new array, and then we have users.filter. This filter method will take the callback function, and we will pass user here. And from this callback function, we are only expecting the users with active status. If that user is having active status, return true, otherwise return false. And then we will just do the console.log and print active users. Let's save the changes, and we have got the array of object with 2 elements. Here we have Vishwas and Ritvik with active status as a true, and Priyanka is having active status as a false. Hope you are clear with first implementation. Now let's understand the second implementation, and that is for getting the product list based on some pricing. For demo, I'm going with one simple fruits array of object, and here what we will do, we will just filter the fruits that have pricing greater than 200. Maybe let me use 250 here, and then we will get the premium fruits. We will just use the fruits.filter. Then it will take the callback function. In callback function, we just require the elements, and we will use fruit. And if fruit.price, right? I'm going with the fruit, and if fruit.price is greater than 250, then we only want to return that fruit. That fruit comes under the premium category. And then we will do the console.log here. Let's save the changes, and now we will get the array of objects here. We only getting the fruits as an apple because only that particular item satisfying our condition. If you want to get the fruits greater than or equal to 250, then we will see 2 items here. The first one is apple, the second one is orange. Hope you are clear with those simple examples. After that, we can have follow-up question, and that is on when to use filter method, right? So we can use the filter method when we want to subset of the original array based on some conditions. Then you want to remove or pick the items based on some condition. And don't use filter method when you want to transform values. If you want to transform the values or the each value from your array, then use map instead. And second thing, if your callback function don't return Boolean value, then don't use the filter method. After that, next question we can have on the key facts, right? When we talk about the key facts, the filter returns us the new array, and the original array remains unchanged in this case. Then array length can be less than or equal when we are getting the filter result, and that is completely based on your condition. If all the elements are satisfying the condition, then we will get the array with equal length, but that is not generally the case. Then the callback function must return true or false values. And finally, this filter function works great on array of objects. After that, we can have next follow-up question, and that is difference between map and filter. When we talk about the difference, the first thing is transforming the values. So map will transform the array, whether filter will not do that. The second thing, when we want to extract the items, we can use the filter method, and map is not suitable for that. Third thing, map and filter both are written new array. And fourth thing, the output length is same as input array. And in case of map, that is always true. But in case of filter, it could be a true or false. If you have all the element which matching the callback function condition, that is rare case. In that case, we can have the original array and new array with same length, but that is not generally the case. And now final question we have on filter polyfill, right? The interviewer can ask you to write your own filter method, and implementation is really simple. As we discussed in map video as well, like when we are creating the polyfill for any method, we need to go with few important points. And first important point, we need to understand the prototype of that method. In case of filter, like it is present on the array prototype, then it will take the input as a callback function, and it will return us the filtered or new array. And finally, it will iterate over each and every array element. Now let's start with the actual filter method implementation that is present on the array prototype. If I do array.prototype.filter, you will see the filter method available here. And the same way, we will add our own filter method. And in this case, I will go with my filter. Then it is a function, and which will take callback function as a parameter. Callback function, and it can take the second parameter that is optional, that is related to this argument, but generally we will not require that. And then we will add our logic here. Second thing, the filter method iterate on each and every array element, right? So for that, I will go with the for loop for iteration. Let me go with I is equal to 0, I is less than, we need to get the array here. And when we are working with any array method, right? I'm using this filter method on my array, and we will get that array as this here. So this will be the my current array, and then we will use the length property. It will give me current length of my array, and then I will do I plus plus. Third thing, it will return me new array, right? So to get the new array, let me create the one const here, and we will use result array here. Initially, this array will be the empty, and finally, we will return that array. And now we need to add our callback logic. We need to call this callback function somewhere, and then we need to add respective element into the filtered array if that satisfy the condition. And to do that, we just need to use the if here. Then we have a callback function, and then it will take the three values here. The first one is the current element, and we will get the current element as a this of I. Then we have a current index, and that is I. And finally, we will get the current array. That array will be this. If this callback function satisfy the condition, that means if it return true, then what we need to do, we just need to do the result dot push. That means we need to add that array element into the result. And what we will add in this array element, we just need to add the current element, that is this of I. And this is what polyfill for filter method is. And now instead of filter method, we can use my filter. First thing, let me copy this couple of implementation, and we will use that implementation below. Currently, I'm using number on the top, so I will go with number 1 here, and then I will go with odd 1. We will print odd 1 here, and instead of filter, we will use my filter here. Same way, we will go with user 1. We can have active users 1 here, and instead of filter, we will use my filter. And then we will use this filtered array. Let's save the changes. And now if you open developer tool, we will see we are getting the similar result with my filter as well. This is the custom implementation that we created, and we are getting same result as of the filter. If I use E1 here, Let me go with the even one, and then we will use that even one here. And instead of element mode 2, if I go with the 0, now our result will be with even elements. Same way, we have list of active users. If I do not active, that means we only require the not active users, then my method is working as expected. We are getting the user that is not active. And this is what polyfill for filter method is. Hope you are clear with all the details. That is what is filter, why we need it, when to use it, what are the key facts, what is the difference between map and filter method, what are the real world examples, and polyfill implementation for filter method. I think that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching and see you in next one. Till now, thank you. Bye.